What's up, guys? I'm Taylor with TK Disc Golf, and today we are doing our first ever twin battle round where Tyler and I go head to head and see which twin comes out on top. We're at Gulley Park in Morrow, Ohio. It's a par 54 course. If you've watched any of our tester videos, we do a lot of practice at this course. So I would expect to see some pretty low scores here. Lots of birdies to be had, a couple tough par 3s, but mostly everything's reachable off the tee. So it should be a really fun time and a great example of showing off our skills. Good time to get lots of birdies and battle it out with each other. So let's get to it and see who comes out on top. Hole number 1, 240 foot straight ahead. I'm going Electron Atom. This is a brand new Electron Atom from the Circuit Pack a couple weeks ago at the Circuit Challenge I went to at Mount Airy. So it's still pretty stable. I threw it flat and hard, so it got a little turn, hit the tree, but still should have a putt. And Tyler throws that Vector into the... What in the world? Never mind. I was about to say that thing goes in the woods, but it somehow deflected off the branches like a true sorcerer. I mean, that thing... nuts. So his Vector is inside of Circle's Edge, uphill, but he at least has a look. I left that one low, hit cage. I will say that we were straight out of the car, no warm-up, no nothing, just get out and go throw. That's all we were doing. And Tyler leaves his putt, though. He goes for a second one, just for some practice, obviously. First shot counts. That's what we're doing. But we should have some easy cleanups for par here. I will say I'm putting with Electron Ions. I pretty much always have my entire disc golf career. I've gone to other putters back and forth, but Ions have been my go-to regardless of plastic. And Tyler's putting with Electron Pilots. Hole 2, 390 straight ahead. They widened that gap. I was going Mayhem. I threw that a little too high, and it hyzers out on me. It's clean, so I'll be all right. Tyler is also going Mayhem. Cool story about this Mayhem. It's actually a prototype. So it's basically a folklore. I mean, you're not going to believe it. There's no way to tell. It was actually given to us by Brad and Chad Richardson at MVP. We were up there. They gave it to us. It was from the first couple hundred they ran. So it's actually the first test batch of Mayhems. I go pilot, upshot, get myself parked for the easy 3. Tyler has like a circle 2 look. He could have a chance at this. Just a little bit short and left. A little bit more power on that. He could have had it. But we're both going to be settling for par. Not too bad. So both of us even through the first 2 holes. Can't really complain there. Like I said, no warm-up yet. So I would expect the first couple holes to be more of like warm-up holes, and then things start to get heated up later on. Hole 3's 300 foot, slightly downhill. I'm going with Proton Matrix. This is pretty beat up, so I can throw this thing flat and hard. It just goes straight and then a nice soft fade for me. Tyler's going Neutron Photon. Yes, Neutron Photon forehand. Nice and controlled, and absolutely just parks this hole. I mean, these should be 2 very simple birdie looks, and I capitalize on mine. And I think Tyler's like less than 10 feet, so there's no way. Yeah, there's no way he's missing that. That would be an absolute mistake, unless these baskets decide to spit him out. They are known to do that. Hole 4, 190 feet. I'm going Pyro. I made the mistake of throwing that right to the base, and it's really dry there, so skips are crazy. Tyler goes with the crazy spike hyzer deflector, which is the safe play, honestly. I need to really work on this hole. I tend to try to throw straight at it, and then I really hurt myself with a long comeback putt, and I left that one high and just a long putt. I mean, I shouldn't have been there. I should have been parked, but it hit right at the base on that dirt patch you can see there and just skipped way long. Tyler had the much safer play, spiked it into the ground to eliminate his chance of skipping. And, oh my gosh, 2 videos in a row, I swear. I was like, our last video with Jordan, I had a 4 on this hole, the easiest hole on the course, pretty much, and I took a 4 both rounds. So that's depressing. But moving on to 5, 320 foot, kind of a 2-shot hole. Basically, get up and around the corner as far as you can, and then give yourself like a 60, 70 foot straight at it type putt or approach. I left mine a little short and hugged the corner too much, so I got a forehand, and I threw that way too high and into that evergreen. That's going to be a long look to try to save my 3. Tyler had the textbook shot, though, and gets to the top of the hill with just an easy layup. Like I said, I got an awkward long straddle putt. I don't know how long that was, maybe 35, 40 feet, but I kind of gave it a half bit. My putt has been kind of off recently. I'm trying to get it together. I'm trying to do 100 putts a day, but it's helping. But in competitive situations, my putt just decides to disappear sometimes. So with that, I mean, Tyler, 3-stroke lead after 5 holes. That's not good. He's hard to catch up to when he's on fire like this. So Tyler has himself a look for birdie, and he should have a look. And then mine actually skipped long, so I'm going to have a circle's edge comeback putt from the edge of the creek. And there we go. I'm due for one of those putts every now and again. I guess the phrase is a blind squirrel finds a nut eventually, and I finally found a good putt. So I got my birdie, back to even for me. And Tyler's got about maybe a little bit over 20-footer, nothing too crazy. Nice and soft putt into the basket. Hole 7, 210 straight ahead. Tyler actually aced this hole one time. I can't remember what disc it was, but it landed a little short and skipped up. So that's the second hole in the row. Tyler has stand in front of his shot, but that is pretty much parked. I don't know why he was waving his hand trying to save for it to get down. I mean, it was perfect. I hit the tree right off the bat. I mean, that's not what you need to do. The biggest obstacle avoid, and I hit it square. So I got an easy layup to save my 3, hopefully. I did miss one from earlier on, but that one actually sticked. I missed the 1 on 4 from that distance, so every putt right now is just a must-get for me, and everything seems scary. Tyler makes another birdie, 4 under through the first 7 holes. Craziness. Hole 8, 255, dogleg left pretty hard. Tyler's going the pyro, neutron pyro to be exact. I'm going proton pyro. Threw it hard and a little ante, too much ante. I should have thrown it flat and to let it get that nice hyzer around the corner, and it just went dead straight for me. I threw it too much anhyzer. Give myself a half bid. It's downhill. I know Tyler went in the rough at this point. He went a little too straight, so I'm like, you know what, there's no point in me trying to run this and then give myself a terrible tester putt and me take a 4 or something. So I was going to bank on the fact that Tyler had a par at best and maybe even a bogey if something crazy happened. But we both par, so that's fine. Hole 9, 275 straight ahead through the gap. Tyler goes forehand here. I like to go the relay hyzer flip route. For me, it's my best chance of getting to the basket. My forehand's a little short, and I thought I punched through on that, but it actually dropped straight down somehow. I'm not sure what. It must have hit like a really thick branch, and it just dropped it straight down. But give myself a nice layup with a pyro forehand, redeeming myself for that bad attempt of a pyro forehand back on hole number 5. But Tyler gave that a run and left him a little long comeback putt for par, but he does make it, so no big deal there. And through the front 9, I am at even, and Tyler is at 4 under, so he's got quite a bit of lead on me, but there are still plenty of birdies to be had. And I'm sorry for the really shaky camera work here. There was a mosquito that went straight into my ear and was trying to crawl down my ear, so I'm trying to swat it with one hand and hold the camera still. It just didn't work out. But Tyler's shot lands within circle 1, so that's good. With the pyro, I went neutron pilot, and if you've not gotten one of those discs, you have to. It is so much fun to throw. You can absolutely mash on it flat and hard, and it's going to get very little fade, if any, and then have a very consistent, softer fade. Basically like a really beat-in Envy, but still trustworthy to power up and not get too much high-speed turn. Both birdies on hole number 10. Moving on to hole number 11, it is 340-foot downhill. Tyler throws that crave way right. He said after that throw he probably should have gone with the Clash. His crave and Clash are both black core pink rims, so maybe he grabbed the wrong one. I'm not entirely sure. I go with the lift. Kind of threw it too high, but it does get myself inside circle 1 or circle's edge, so it's not too bad of a mistake there. Tyler's shot that got tangled up in that tree and went too straight left him with circle's edge putt. But he does miss that. I think that's one of his first missed putts of the day, so he's still doing pretty good. Nothing to complain there. And I left that one, though. That was terrible. Terrible effort. Should have left that a little bit higher. So we're going to both par. I guess that's as good as it can get, really. I mean, I've seen 4s and 5s on this hole, especially if you go long in the rough or short to the left. I mean, it can get pretty dangerous in those woods. But hole 12 is 220 foot. Tyler's going pyro again. He is really liking the neutron pyro, guys. I mean, absolutely can crush on this thing. It's got good glide. He goes hyzer spike wide right of the basket and trusts that the natural gravity of the slope that slopes toward the basket will push it even closer. And I made the mistake of throwing pretty much pin high, and like I said, that slope it's pretty much like a gravity hole where everything's going to be naturally scooting to the left. And mine skipped about 25 left because of the slope of the hill. I should have thrown it a little wider of the basket and played the slope that way. So I leave myself a par after a little bit of tree contact on my birdie putt, and Tyler, like I said, absolutely parked. No excuses there. All right. Hole 13 is 390 foot. The gap you can see there, I think, has grown over the years, so pretty much the only play is over top, and Tyler squeezes past one of those dead tree limbs with a Plasma Octane, I believe. I think it's one of the Disc Golf Pro Tour ones. It's his most stable. He throws it hard, anhyzer, and high, so it stalls out and dumps back towards the basket. We'll see where that landed. And the Vanish, I was feeling really confident with that out of my hand, but I just threw it 5 feet too low. Just to get over top those branches, that shot would have been good, getting to like the little baby creek. It never has water in it unless it's rained. But if I could have gotten there, that would have been great. I think that's where my shot would have landed. And Tyler actually lands just short of that creek after throwing it a little too far wide right. But that putt, I mean, no doubt, as soon as it left his hand, it was perfectly in line, straight up and down. Man, he's on fire, ladies and gentlemen. He's on fire. I can't even say anything other than that. So I picked up my par. Tyler cards another birdie, putting him down to 7 under. I think I had the card from him at one point. I can't remember if I did or not. But he's going to be keeping up with the tee box the entire round for the most part if he keeps this up. Neutron Tesla off the tee for 345 Spike Heiser. I wish I could Spike Heiser like that, but I've got to go Neutron Mayhem flat and just get all of the high-speed distance I can out of this disc. And I actually put myself long the basket. I very rarely do that. 345 on like a flat to fade finish for me is about my... I feel confident that the Mayhem will get to pin high every time, but I actually put myself about 25 long of the pin and 30 wide right. So I had a putt, but it was a little uphill and just not in my comfort zone. And Tyler puts that in the basket for birdie from about 20 feet. Man, all of his birdies for the most part have been inside 25, other than that putt he just made on the last hole that was like a 40-footer. But he's been putting all of his drives close and keeping the birdie train alive. So 8 under for Tyler, still 1 under for me. Moving on to 15. This hole is every bit of a 2-shot hole. It's like a par 3.5. Really, really hard to get to the pin. I think they originally designed it to go through that gap here, which is what I'm going to try. But Tyler goes Spike Heiser. I'm trying to go lift here, and I just threw it too high. I threw the anhyzer. It was flying nice. It would have faded out. It would have been great, but it just a little too high, and lands myself inside of between that little plastic pipe for the creek, and I slip off the tee, or off my upshot, excuse me. But the Proton Tesla I threw actually does make it all the way to the basket for the most part, and will leave me with, I think, like a 25-foot putt. So that was a really, really good recovery shot for me. And Tyler throws his Neutron Pyro again, but sallies it. It was at this point he told me that he actually realized he was sitting 8 under. His course record is 9 under for himself, and he didn't give that one enough of a bid. I think he could have gone for that and maybe got it. But there's still 2 birdie holes left, so he can get there. He's just got to birdie everything from here on out. Actually, no, with his bogey, that puts him down to 7 under. So for him to beat his 9 under course record, he's going to have to birdie out the rest of the course, which 16 and 17 are reachable, but 18 is a 400-footer, and it's really tough. Tyler, I believe, went Crave here. It was the black and pink one. I don't think he would have thrown a shock on that. I'm pretty positive it was the Crave, just low, full power, nice straight to fade shot. I believe that was the Crave. I'm going drift. Really, really like the drift, but I threw it a little too right. I mean, it was the perfect line, or perfect flight, but I just released it offline just enough to get tangled up and have a long circle 2 look. So I'm just laying that one up. There's no way I'm going to make that. If you notice some of the shakiness, there were a ton of mosquitoes. Like, I am not kidding you. We were getting eaten alive, so it was so hard to hold still. And then our stabilization on the camera actually got switched to a lower stabilization setting, so that wasn't helping at all. Not to discredit Tyler's birdie, that was an incredible putt, incredible drive. So it gets him back to 8 under, and then he just absolutely parks that hole again. So Tyler should have a very easy look at 9 under par, which ties his personal best, leaving him with 1 hole to try to beat his personal best round. and I go my beat up electron at him here, and it flips up to flat, gets a nice little turn, and leaves me inside the circle for a putt. So actually, it's more of circle's edge. It's like a little over 25 foot straddle around that tree, but I actually got it. So I am under par. I usually don't have a problem finishing 18 with a par. So hopefully I can stay under par for the round, and that'll be okay for me with considering how bad my putting's been recently. But Tyler's going nitro off the tee with the crazy high flex anhyzer. You can see it. It turns around the tree, and at that point, he's just like, I got it. He was so pumped. Through that nice high anhyzer spike, so it flexes about 50% through the flight and gets around the tree and leaves him inside the circle for his look at 2. I'm going the new Citrus Prism Insanity, very understable disc. I threw that one too low. I mean, that thing would have kept turning and turning and turning if I could have got more height behind it. But I threw it low. It keeps me in the fairway, though, so I can't complain. So I'm just going to go with the Neutron Pilot Upshot. And I threw that way too straight at the basket, man. That thing was fading into the woods. I might have a little obstructed putt. Yeah, these honeysuckles are a little low. So, ooh. Okay, yeah, it did punch through those. The honeysuckles were obstructed, like I said, but my disc was able to punch through. And Tyler, what can I say? I mean, that was an incredible showing from him. I mean, I haven't played with Tyler in an actual battle round for several months, but he absolutely slays the course today with a very awesome personal best of 10 under, which I believe is a 50 or a 44, excuse me. So congrats to Tyler on his new personal best. I think mine's like a 6 or 7. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've played a good round like that. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching our twin battle round. If you want to watch more in the future, hit the like button and let us know in the comments if you liked what you saw. And thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, pick up some MVP Axiom discs, do whatever, follow us on Instagram. You know the drill. And again, thanks for watching.